When it comes to electricity, some businesses, electricity is critical for their operation. And some they can operate, okay, they maybe not necessarily operate without, but electricity is not key. So what you need to do as an entrepreneur, make sure that where you locate your business or where you put your business, you have sufficient electricity in the area. So that's one thing. The first thing that you need to make sure that you do as a business, because without accessing electricity, maybe in that area you can't get a three-phase, then you might have challenges in terms of your operations. So there are certain operations like your services that you just use electricity for lighting and light things just to operate, and there are some that are electricity intense. They need heavy equipment that needs electricity. So you need to understand your operations and decide where you're gonna locate your business based on the analysis and the needs in terms of the electricity, so that you put your business in the area that's got sufficient electricity, which is one important. And again, you need to analyze your operating process, understand how critical the electricity is, because sometimes certain businesses you need to make sure that you budget for electricity per process. Understand how much electricity does your equipment consume from each process, so that you can understand how much ultimately you're going to spend on electricity. Yeah, sometimes we just estimate that this is how much we think the budget for electricity is, without looking at the equipment, without looking at the process. You need to analyze your process, most especially when you're in manufacturing, in terms of how much electricity you're going to spend, how much each equipment spend on electricity, in terms of the units, how much will you be able to produce, because that can have a very serious impact on your profitability, because your cost per unit, without taking into account the electricity, then you might cost your product lower than you should have if you had taken into account electricity. But this one is not important for all businesses. There are certain businesses that they need to take into account the electricity. If you are in heavy manufacturing, electricity becomes important. And as well, considering the alternative energy in terms of your operations. Is it possible to run it using solar or using gas or oil? So those are the things that you need to consider in terms of your operation, so that you have a backup, so that if anything happened to electricity, at least you must have a backup for your business. And look at the alternative, okay, practical alternative, your generator. Can your equipment run? Can you run your equipment using a generator? That's one of the considerations that you look at. Even when you're buying equipment, you need to consider those things, that do you have an alternative to electricity? Because if you are reliant on electricity and anything happens, then your business might fail. You might not be able to produce. So it's a critical factor that you need to consider, apply your mind to it, and it can save you a lot of money. If you just apply your mind, will you be able to get your sufficient or electricity that you need to operate efficiently? It's a consideration that you need to be strategic about it, understand the consumption, understand the cost, so that you can build that into your business strategy. And now we're going to go into the video, the practical guide in terms of other businesses. We're using the 3 case studies, which is the McDonald's, the AUI, and the Auckland A's. So here's the video on this topic. Enjoy. So we're just trying to make sure that we practicalize the lesson using these case studies. Enjoy the video.
Depending on the nature of the organization, certain organizations require more electricity than others. Consulting requires less electricity compared to farming that requires a lot of electricity. To use electricity for heavy commercial use requires 3-phase electricity that needs special application if your operations are not already in an industrial area.
Electricity is critical, but a fast food operation does not consume a lot of electricity. McDonald's requires electricity for its operations, for cooking and housekeeping. Electricity is critical for a food business. It cannot operate without access to electricity. And however, to access electricity is not a major consideration on where to locate a fast food operation.
AEY uses limited electricity. Electricity is not a major consideration. Electricity required by AEY is just for housekeeping.
Electricity is critical to maintain the training facility and playing grounds. Organizations that electricity is critical for, like it is for the A's, it needs to ensure that it has made the necessary investigation and confirmation that sufficient electricity is available. It takes long to secure electricity rights. It is therefore critical for entrepreneurs to secure electricity earlier on in their project before outlaying. Complete the assignment. Compare how the topic is addressed in the 3 movies and rank them according to your preference on how the characters and the organizations dealt with the topic and motivate your ranking, 1 being the best and 3 the worst. Analyze this topic and its applicability to your situation and industry. Write up your analysis to meet the requirement of the industry you're operating in. Update the relevant section in your business plan.